Beloved souls, blessings to you on this beautiful summer day. I am Jesus. I come once again to speak on matters of the soul and matters of the soul pertaining to God. I wish to elaborate on the experience of an individual in a relationship with God, and receiving the great gift of His love into their soul. Although I have spoken of these things many times in many other messages, I have not put together a comprehensive commentary on this deep and profound experience of the soul in communion with God and receiving His essence within. There are many individuals living upon this earth plane who have experienced this great gift of love from God. Depending upon their mental state, their mindful biases, their expectations and considerations, how this experience is interpreted can vary greatly between individual souls. Some are born with a deep mysticism, an ability to travel beyond the limitations of the material mind and go to the perceptions of their souls, thereby experiencing something extraordinary in their prayers and contemplations with God. Those who are deeply gifted in this way are few and far between in your world, but there are today a number of mystics who have had deep spiritual experiences in their prayers. This instrument is one who has many experiences and certainly can be considered to be a mystic in his own right. There are others who follow the same path as him, who also have had deep and profound experiences with God. This is not to say that these experiences happen each day and intensify with each day. Rather, if the conditions are right and the individual is open and receptive and their prayers are intense and filled with soulful desire, then the probability of coming close to God in such a way that it is unmistakable, profound, and filled with all manner of experiences and insights, can happen readily and deeply. Unfortunately, most upon your earth plane are not as susceptible to these experiences. For those of you who are on the divine path seeking the love of God, yearning for that experience that will wipe away all doubts and that which is unclear in perception may come to this place and may open themselves to this condition of deep and profound insight on rare occasions. It is not that every soul upon this planet is incapable of such an experience, for the truth of the matter is that each individual has the ability to know God profoundly, and to have their unique experience and communion with the Creator. As with all things in your world, it is determined by the state of mind of the individual and the condition of the soul. When there is an alignment between the consciousness of the soul, the spirit, and the mind, there can often be a profound connection made with the source of all. This most likely will bring about a mystical experience for the individual, something truly powerful that shifts the consciousness of the individual to a place of deeper faith and deeper understanding of the truth of God's presence and love for them. In many cases, the individual may receive in a conscious way a downpouring of truth and insight into various laws of God's creation, and various aspects of His creation. Truly a wondrous event for any individual who seeks to know the truth and to understand the very nature of God and the very nature of themselves. There are very few who would stumble upon this experience without preparing for it or desiring it. Yet, this too can happen to individuals who are especially gifted and open. If the mind does not block this experience and the inner workings of the individual, their soul and spirit, are longing for truth, then most certainly, there will be a response, for this is the law in action. Desire elicits a response. If the individual's desire is for the highest, then the response that will come is of the highest quality and truth. If the individual is engaged fully in the material life and has no interest in the spiritual parts of themselves or the experiences that may come in this exploration, then they will not receive nor know the profound insight and joy that comes with a soul opened and awakened to deep communion with God. Yet, life offers the individual many different experiences. There are times when the individual may stumble upon an experience that is out of the ordinary and does not fit into daily life and daily perception of life. This small door opening may indeed encourage the individual to explore further into their spiritual nature, into the spiritual gifts that they possess, and into developing these gifts so they may experience deeper and more profound things that are of the spiritual. As I have said so often, it is the free will choice of the individual to come to those places where doors are opened, bringing forth that which is profound and beautiful. There are many approaches to spiritual experience and awareness. Upon your earth, you have hundreds, if not thousands of religions, philosophies, and doctrines, which are intended to lead the individual toward that which is the truth. The vast majority of these ways and means of finding truth require the individual to enter into something that is of a mindful consciousness and to consider intellectually what is true and what is not. They may contemplate and meditate upon these truths and come to some conclusions. Within this process of defining the truth, they may also utilize prayer and meditation to affirm the truth. Through this approach, the individual may indeed enter through the threshold of many doors of experience. That experience is interpreted readily and powerfully by the mind and the biases of the mind, thereby ensuring that certain beliefs and protocols are adopted, and that there is a sense of comfort with the experience because of this. Few enter these doors and are open fully to the experience without asserting these biases and without a tinge of fear and reticence that comes as the mind experiences something new, and something that it cannot relate to in a material way. Yet, there are those, as I have said, who have mystical experiences that are far beyond the strictures of the mind's normal perceptions as they come to a place of the soul, where the soul feels, perceives, knows, and experiences these things in a fluid environment, where all flows into their consciousness in a profound and powerful way. Yet, each is able to experience spiritual truths and spiritual manifestations if they are focused on it and utilize various techniques and approaches to facilitate entering through the doors of spiritual reality. I need not go into the details as to why so many do not come to these places of awareness within themselves, for the barriers are many and the intensity of focus toward these things is very mild, if not non-existent. Yet, through prayer, an individual may come closer to the opportunity of those mystical experiences that intrigue so many and are desired by so many who are seeking soul development and soul truth in their relationship with the Creator. Prayer is the beginning. It brings the focus and the inner desires of the individual directing them to God. Though these desires may be intense within the soul, they are often minimized by the filters of the mind as the individual directs their prayers in words and thoughts toward God. Yet, with practice, patience and perseverance, that channel between your consciousness and God consciousness can be opened, cleared, and widened by your prayers and your intentions. You cannot expect to experience profound things without some effort to open the doorway to such things. Often those who are intent on prayer for the love of God to be received within their soul, hone their desires and their focus as they travel this road of experience and blessings. Angels come to pray with that individual if they are sincere. God's hand comes close, touching that individual, awakening the soul and its perceptions. In many respects, His healing touch relieves the soul of many of its anxieties and barriers in prayer. With faith, the individual persists in their efforts and, in time, will come to some revelation or experience, an awakening that is not purely of the mind but is of the soul. Because you are in the earthly plane, the individual will often perceive such things through the filters of the mind. In this way, the experience is in some way tainted and reformed in order to comply with the needs of the material mind. Yet, the essence of the experience remains, and the feelings and manifestations of that experience come through to the consciousness of the individual. With a deep touch from God, the individual may know joy, profound and deep. This comes with the soul enlivened and signaling to the individual's consciousness that it is there and wishes to continue on the journey that will awaken and free it from the strictures and incrustations that surround it, and the mental biases that keep the individual's consciousness from truly knowing their own soul. It requires a great deal of work and application for many of you to venture beyond the domination of your mind and to see, feel, and know that place which is your soul. To come to a place of communion with your Heavenly Father, who is always there to embrace you and greet you in the consciousness of soul, for God is soul and soul, so are all of you. Because each individual possesses a soul, they can know God and recognize the very nature of God through their soul faculties and the experiences which come as the soul awakens and journeys toward that deep communion with their Creator. Each individual practices their spiritual and soulful journey toward God, somewhat differently. Many enter into this realm through their mind exclusively and find some satisfaction there. Some work diligently through practices of meditation and contemplation to sidestep the mind and come to that place of spirit, mind, and consciousness, which brings deeper insight into the very nature of the individual and the very nature of the universe. There are some whose consciousness ventures directly to the soul. They may stumble across this experience through their prayers, and once they have found a doorway to the soul, they return again and again. This does not mean that their ideas and understanding of it are similar to many of you who follow the divine path. Yet, despite certain errors of the mind, they have come to discover their soul and entertain a deep relationship with God in this way. In this, they may indeed receive the great gift of God's divine love, and may receive it in great abundance because the rewards for their efforts come with deep blessings and at times, profound insights. Those of you who study the truths that I have given through individuals such as Paget, this medium, and others, may be affected by the word, concepts and truth shared in the somewhat filtered way of the mind and may not venture beyond these intellectual understandings. They understand the concepts of how the individual may receive divine love. They may indeed pray from the mind and repeat their prayers again and again, but not feel and know the profound desires of their soul, and express those desires accordingly. Yet, they begin the journey in this way. I acknowledge these efforts and encourage them, for, at some time, there will be a breakthrough for that individual, that they will truly experience their soul as the soul is persisting and puts great effort to reach out through the consciousness of the individual so that its desires and intentions are known in prayer. Yet for many, that passageway between soul consciousness and mindful consciousness is very cluttered and blocked by energetic and mindful conditions, which are contrary to the soul's desire and efforts. Yet, as the individual persists through their mindful exercises and experimentations, they are clearing some of this debris away. In time, there will be a meeting between the soul and the mind in prayer. I encourage all of you to persist in your prayers, whether they feel unanswered, whether those spiritual feelings and experiences are not consciously known or felt, often resulting in a sense of frustration and that God does not love them or responds to them. I say, continue in your pursuit, knowing that this connection with God is not built readily on the material plane, and that for so many, their minds have been so thoroughly conditioned that it is difficult to break through this conditioning and mental state in order to go to something that is so very different and new in their conscious experience of life. Yet, they too have angels by their side. They too have God working to forge His connection with the individual, to ensure that there is a personal relationship between their soul and His soul, and that it may be known consciously and profoundly, bringing with it great joy felt in this relationship of love. There are those who are psychically gifted. Often, their journey toward God has within it many psychic experiences with spirits and angels as they pray and go to that place that is not of the material mind but the spirit mind. In this way they are able to confirm the truth, for as they relate to bright spirits and angels, these spirits will confirm the truth for them and show them in a way that they may psychically perceive the truth. Some are quite enamored with their psychic experiences and may remain within this mode of awareness for some time before they venture beyond it towards deeper soul awareness. After all, this experience is extraordinary and adds so many new dimensions to material life that it can carry that individual into desiring these things exclusively. They may believe that with this experience, they are receiving a great portion of divine love within their souls. This may be true, but it is not necessarily true, for as I have explained, the consciousness of the individual is segmented into that of the soul, the spirit, and the material mind. It does not necessarily mean that with one aspect or segment of the individual engaged that all are engaged, and all come together in harmony and synchronicity. Ideally, this should be the case for each individual so that they may experience the many dimensions that they carry within themselves in prayer and contemplation, so that indeed, the soul consciousness may be engaged and flow readily into the consciousness of the spirit, which flows readily into the consciousness of the mind. There are other ways that the individual may know that they are receiving the great gift of God's love. Though prayer is always the vehicle, and with contemplation and meditation, the individual may focus and turn their awareness toward this experience, there may be physical signals and manifestations that indicate that they are receiving the great gift of God's love. Many have spoken of the expansion within the area of their solar plexus where the soul resides, tingling, pressure, burning, and a sense of expansion that comes with the divine love entering the soul. These things are all valid experiences. Some may experience an opening up of the crown chakra of their spirit body, the top of their head, with the inflowing of energies coming therein. Some may see colors, spirits, angels, and all matter of psychic manifestations, coupled with a sense of joy and a knowing of love. I will assert, however, that even when an individual does not experience such manifestations and levels of consciousness, they do experience the aura of love around them, so that they are uplifted and sense that something greater than themselves is with them. They know that they are embraced in love, at least to some degree. God will always find a way to communicate with His children, and His children will find a way to communicate with God in their own unique way. One's experience does not equate to another's, and yet, is it not fascinating to know of another's experience, another's channel to God, awakening and strengthening and brightening as they continue to pray for the great gift of His love? There is always a way to know that you are being blessed, my beloved and beautiful friends. There may be a signal from an outside source, something that tells you within your mind that you have been touched by something profound. There may be a voice that says something that directs your consciousness toward God. The individual may feel an angel close to them, and this closeness comes as the individual's soul is yearning and longing for the great gift. In time, there will always be a gift given that will affirm the truth, an experience that will give that individual undeniable proof that the truth of God's love is indeed a living truth, a viable and provable truth. This will come individually and clearly. Many may speak of it. Many may share their experiences of it. Many may use their gifts to bring messages such as this to the individual. But all is directed toward the opening of that door of recognition and experience that will come to the individual in prayer, seeking the great blessing of God's love. God does not hold anything back from His children. God empowers His angels, bright spirits and others to uplift the individual and empower them so that they may see or feel or hear and know of this truth in whatever harmonious way that it may manifest in their lives. Seeking the love of God is a simple process. It merely requires your desires and prayers, asking overtly, clearly, and with great intent to receive this gift that is the essence of God flowing into your soul. Once one has committed themselves to this simple process and prayer, then the rest is bound to follow. How long it may take for such an experience of affirmation and confirmation of the truth to come to the individual is entirely reliant upon that individual's focus and gifts. Yet, it may come in an instant. It may come with great feeling, a great emotional opening and profound recognition, coming from within the soul. It may come in such drops and increments of experience that it is barely noticed, at least in the beginning. Yet, something accumulates. A consciousness of this truth makes its way forward into you, bringing recognition of something that is beyond the mind's imaginings and machinations, for the truth of the matter must come to the individual in this way, for without some signal, some experience, some sense of rightness and affirmation of the truth, then the individual is bound to release their commitment to it and venture forth in other directions. The angels work diligently to ensure that the individual may have an experience that will open the threshold toward deep commitment and the journey toward at-one-ment with God. God continues to yearn for that individual to come close, to be vulnerable and open, to feel deeply, to seek with great yearning, to force their eyes to open, and to exercise faith within them so that they may truly experience the great soul of God in relationship with their soul. Once that experience has been a part of their journey, then nothing will hold them back from continuing with their relationship with God, seeking His essence to continue to empower this relationship and journey. Few who have ventured this far turn away. Some do, but most continue, for they know they have discovered a profound truth, a truth filled with treasures beyond price, experiences beyond anything that the material world can offer them, knowledge beyond that of the material man, insight into their lives and others that carries truth and wisdom. Deep compassion and love flow forth from the individual as they grow in this gift. Their souls expand in love. This is the journey of the soul. The soul must find its maker through some way and means of doing so. Each individual crafts their journey and determines the pace and seeks their way until they come to that profound and mystical experience of God. Some may not have this experience in their lifetime. Some may have it multiple times. Some may have it just once. But indeed, there is something that motivates each one. There is a deep desire in the soul that continues to press forward, to press upon the consciousness of the individual to the extent that they make time and effort in prayer to be with God. How else can God reach the individual, for God is not a material being. God is strictly that of the soul. God has provided a way in which you may recognize God, for you possess a soul too. You too can see with the eyes of the soul, feel with a sense of the soul, hear with the wisdom of the soul. May you find your way and know all those faculties and capacities that exist within you. God does not restrict your passage. God opens the way and provides the means by which you may know Him, and truly know Him as your loving Father, a being of pure love without limits or limitations. These things await every soul. In time, every soul will come to know the truth of their own being, experiencing the state of purification, purity, and perfection, or go beyond this to the state of a redeemed soul in divine love, changed by the touch of God, opening to greater experiences, revelations, joy, and love within this journey, expanding and transforming from the image to the substance of God. From mere speculation to the true knowing that you are a child of God and that you continue to be nurtured by God on this eternal journey toward at-one-ment with your Creator. Who would not desire such things once given the insight, the opening to know the potential of their soul? Are we not truly blessed, beloveds, to know this and to journey upon this wondrous road? May God bless you, beloveds, as you continue forth seeking truth, seeking God, seeking the confirmation of all these things through your experiences, prayers, and insights. In this way, you are truly filled with the desire and the intention to receive more and more truth, more and more love, more and more insight and perception. These things come as you receive the great gift of His love. They may come unbidden, or they may come through your concerted efforts. But indeed, as you travel this road, God lays before you a bounty of His blessings, the deep touch of His love, that becomes more profound with every footfall. May you truly be blessed, beloveds. May you truly come to know these things of which I have spoken, for each gift is a gift from God, empowering and enabling you to step further upon the path of truth, giving you what you require to be awakened within your soul, journeying forward with joy, desire, a deep yearning, which will be fulfilled by the touch of His Holy Spirit, the gift of His love conveyed to you thus. God bless you, beloveds. I am with you always. My love for you and all of humanity is great, for within them are potentials and gifts, the possibility of such wondrous experiences and joy. Those things that I have experienced and entertained in my existence are available to all. A gift that God has for His children, of which I am merely one. May God bless you. I am your brother and friend, Jesus, and I love you. God bless you, beloveds.